got a thing or two to say to you. Oompa, 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 pee-pee. I got a thing or two to say to you.
Hello, my name is Robert Pembroke. Got a lot of bird noise outside. You know, it's spring every other day of the year in the subtropics. I thought I'd tell you about a really interesting phenomenon in human society in the 20th and 21st century that has sort of been magnified by the presence of cinema and social media. It's known as the sacred cows joke, made famous by Mel Brooks. And it relates to the nature of the Marx Brothers acting method, and has a strange sort of relationship to the condition of hiccups in human beings. You know, the health issue of hiccups, it has a relationship to it. It's built up the idea of a type of audio resequencing of human behavioural cues, using what's called an interval prime to condition type of interval in human populations, quite literally sequencing the nature of behaviour using sound. It's a kind of description I'll offer you of a normalised convention around Cognitive Behaviour Therapy, or CBT. I'd like to describe to you the relationship between the famous Marx Brothers acting method and sound sequences as audio cues that develop the nature of accident and misadventure as slapstick and humour, and longitudinally in the nature of a type of ill health in the human body. It's one of those things, to have comedy you have to have something that's sour. For sweet you have to have sour, that sort of thing, yeah? Have you noticed how you might hear an emergency service vehicle sound out a siren, and then another noise will occur, like someone in a different car will beat their car horn? It will occur kind of consecutively, quite close in time. Let's call the emergency siren sound A and the second horn siren sound B. Every time sound A is heard, then sound B will be heard after sound A at a point similar across time. If you had a stopwatch, if you had one of them, then you could predict when sound B would occur after sound A and vice versa, because it would occur quite regularly. You could develop a schedule for when these sounds occur on a timetable, because they would tend to repeat across time, and they'd be quite proximal to each other. They'd be a sound pairing, two sounds together that tend to coordinate together in some way. Now let's take the analogy of the simultaneous sounding of audition in cognitive behaviour therapy further. Imagine if every time I hear sound A and then sound B occurs, I go on to hear a third sound that is either louder or softer than the prior two sounds. The sound of the emergency siren is loudest, then the sound of another car beeping, the horn is not as loud. Again, there is a third sound now from a slamming door. It is not as loud as the siren sound or the horn beeping sound. Then the sound of another car beats its horn, and so on. You know, it just keeps happening, sort of cascading one sound into the other. But this third sound happens as well at approximately the same time after I heard the first siren sound and then the car horn beep and the emergency siren, yeah? If I know when the emergency sound happens, then it's possible for me to know when the car horn will sound and then the proximal neighbour will slam their door. So I have a triple now. I have three different sounds occurring fairly close in time, and if I know one will occur, then I'm more likely to know the other two will happen as well. There is an order of things, a type of audio sequencing that informs the behaviours of people around me. Sound moves from background to foreground. a loud sound transposes into a softer sound, a bit like a pawn becomes a queen in the game of chess or something, yeah? The sound siren becomes a slamming door. Big sounds become little sounds, or vice versa. Again, for example, if conditioning is extensive enough, then a small sound can become a loud sound. For example, the squeaking of an ill-fitting shoe can angle the body to make a door be pressured in a way that makes the door creak. Eventually, the creaking of the door unsettles the hinge, and the key barrel in the lock of the door cannot be released, leading to a shunting sound in the keyhole of the key. Subsequently, the lock is difficult to disengage. So every time the ill-fitting shoes are worn, then eventually an order of things takes place and the key will not engage the lock properly. It's a leg bone to knee bone style joke of the reflex hammer joke. Again, another example. Even the body obeys this strange auditory order of things. A type of onomatopoeia occurs where a whistling sound becomes a rasping voice and subsequently a wheeze from a bad cough, etc. Sometimes you'll hear people say it rains every time I get a sore foot, or Harpo Marx of the Marx Brothers sounds his compression bicycle horn when he hears another horn sound distally. Some people mimic the audition of sound to prevent themselves from moving to a forward position in sequence. And that's exactly what Harpo Marx used to do when he'd go Hong Kong sometimes, yeah? I'm inclined to think that is what everyone ends up trying to do. They try to prevent themselves from producing a different auditory sound because they think it will promote an outcome that is not desirable. For example, the siren may indicate that someone else will have an accident. The siren acts as a primer to foreboding in other people naturally enough. It's like a warning. So people copy the audition of sound in the siren to prevent themselves from having an accident. This type of human behaviour has existed for a very long time and has been immortalised in the cinema of the famous Marx Brothers actors and those subsequent too. This type of human behaviour, which I've said has existed for a long time, involves a resequencing of the audition of sound that can lead to a lot of conditions. For example, hiccups. Hiccups are a desynchronisation of the body, aren't they? You're kind of trying to swallow and gulp at the same time, aren't you? When you hiccup, yeah? So it's a kind of condition that's an order out of place, you know? It's like something's missing, should have been added in the movement of the body. So hiccups might be viewed as a disorder of sound, and sound might be the reason for hiccups, yeah? And you can sort of project that idea to other conditions as well. Now I thought I'd sing for you a song from At the Circus by the Marx Brothers. Wonderful movie, isn't it? I thought I'd sing that for you. I'd sing for you Lidia. And it's a really hard song to sing, and give it a go if you want on karaoke and see if you can get there with it. It's really hard to do. I thought I'd give you a version of it just to show you how synchronising one's sound and quite a cacophony of different sounds, yeah? Cheers, I'll see you then. Lidia the Tattooed Lady, Circus, Marx Brothers. Oh Lidia, say have you met Lidia? Oh Lidia the Tattooed Lady. She has eyes that folks adore so, and a torso even more so. Lidia, oh that encyclopedia, oh Lidia, the queen of tattoo. On her back is the battle of Waterloo, beside it the wreck of the Hesperus too, and proudly above the waves of red, white and blue, learn a lot from Lidia, la la la, ha 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 ha, ha. When a robe is unfurled, she will show the world if you step up and tell her well. For a dime you can see Kanaki or Paris or Washington, ooh, crossing the Delaware. La la la, la la la. Oh Lidia, say, have you met Lidia? Oh Lidia the Tattooed Lady. When her muscles start relaxing, up the hill comes Andrew Jackson. Lydia, oh that encyclopedia. Oh Lydia, the champ of them all. For 2 bits she'll do on the Circus in jazz, with a view of Niagara that no artist had, and on a clear day you can see Alcatraz. You can learn a lot from Lydia. Ha ha ha, la la la, la la la. Come along and see Buffalo Bill with his lasso, just a little classic of Mindel Picasso. Here is Captain Spaulding exploring the Amazon, and Godiva, but with her pajamas on. La la la. Here's Grover wailing, unveiling the trial on the West Coast. We had a treasure chest on. Here's Nijinsky daring the rapper. Here's her social security number. Lydia, oh Lydia, that encyclopedia. Oh Lydia, the queen of them all. She once swept an admiral clear off his feet. The ships on her hips made his hop sleep a beat. And now the old boy's in command of the fleet, for he went and married Lydia. I said Lydia. Oh, he said Lydia too. La la. Thanks very much, Robert Pembroke, Lidia the Tattooed Lady, the Marx Brothers at the Circus. Cheers.
I got a thing or two to say to you. I've got a thing or two to say to you, like the Humpty Dumpty Doo.